Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emily Hessler. Today we're gonna create an interactive spinning card, and this card was a lot of fun to do. To start off, I'm taking my cloud border from Long Fun. I just die cutted this out of some post-it tape, and this is a low-tech tape. And I'm gonna use this as the mask on this background. As you can see, I'm taking two of my distress inks. From the beginning I thought I was going to be using both of them, but I'm ending up only using that Stormy sky. Here you can see I'm taking my ink and just dabbing that off onto the scraps paper underneath. I'm doing that so I don't create any hard edges. This will be my stormy sky, so to speak. It will be my clouds on this front panel. I think this technique is really fun to do, and you will see me do this I think you will see me do this many times more because I had a lot of fun creating this. And I'm thinking you can use this technique to create many other things. For example, you can die cut a border out of some grass and use this as use it to create a scene, so to speak. On that little part on the end, I'm just taking a little more ink and just blending that out so it seems like the clouds are continuing. When I'm pleased with that, I'm laying this all aside and start working with my fairy on this card. I am going to be using the Picie dust stamp set from Avery, and I'm going to use that little fairy on the top. She is sticking her hand out, and I'm thinking this is an adorable little fairy to have on a card. I'm inking that up with some Memento tuxedo black and pressing that down on top of some smooth Nina cardstock. The paper I used in the beginning also was a Nina cardstock. If you're interested in which of my Spectrum Noir markers I am using to ink her up, you can find it both in the top left corner and in the description box. I am trying to color her. As you know, I'm no expert on coloring, but I'm trying to color her so she has some bit of a shadow on the down parts of her. So I'm trying to lay my darkest markers on the top portion and just following the lines that I think is the parts that would be darker. When I'm done with her, I am going to fussy cut her out, and I have to thank you all my fabulous subscribers or visitors for commenting on my last video where I asked if I should get all the coordinating dies or buy the scanning cat. Your advice was very helpful, and we'll see if I get the scanning cat. Here I'm taking some pierced circle from Avery, and I'm just running that through my Big Shot to create this circle. This is going to be the part where the fairy is in here so that she spins. That second part there I'm not going to use in this card. You will see me use that later to have as a guide. Here I'm just laying it out so I get a feeling for how it's gonna look. I am going to take my little ink blending tool and just take some more of that Stormy sky into the middle of our card base. This is a top folded note card. I'm doing that so you just don't have a white surface underneath our front panel, since you can see this through when she doesn't spin, so I want to make sure it looks okay. When I'm pleased with the coloring, we're gonna move on. And the thing we're gonna do now is take off a 1/4 inch, I believe, so this front panel match our card base. And now I'm gonna create some dimension. I'm taking some fun foam and I'm just cutting out a small strip of that, and I am going to adhere this with some adhesive. And as you can see, I'm keeping myself to the outer part of this card front, and I'm doing that because we're gonna have a penny inside of this, and I want to create some space for that one to move around so the fairy spins when we're done with this card. On the top and the bottom part of this card, I'm gonna take a little bit of a bigger piece, and here you can see I have no good eye measurements. My piece is clearly too big, so I'm cutting it down so it fits perfectly. I'm taking some more adhesive to the back side of this and pressing it down on the top. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom part. I think this technique is really fun, and you can create a lot of cards with a different theme or with a different feeling than this one, just by using this technique. So I love this card. Here I'm just taking a leftover of that foam and cutting around the edges so it gets more of a circle shape, and I'm taking some adhesive and placing that in the middle of that little pierced circle piece that we created. Here I'm just laying it out once again so I get a good feeling for how this will look in the end. Now it's time to work on our sentiment, and I've been choosing A Very Happy Birthday to You from the same stamp set that I used in the beginning, and this one is called Picie Dust, and it's the one from Avery. I'm just inking that up with the same Memento tuxedo black as we used on the fairy, and I'm pressing that down. I am always using my grid lines on the stamping block so I get it perfectly straight. Now it's time to adhere this onto the card front, and here you can just see me checking so that the penny can move around inside of our little box that we created. I am taking some adhesive to all the parts where I adhered the foam, and then I'm gonna firmly press it down on top of our card base, making sure everything is straight and good. When I'm done with that, you will see me take that leftover part and making sure that I am adhering the center part of this straight, and you will see me do the same thing again when I have some adhesive to the back side of this, making sure that it's centered so the penny can move around, and also trying to line that up with the clouds that we created. When I'm pleased with that, I am just pressing that firmly down and making sure the penny can move around. And when I'm pleased with this, it's time to adhere our fairy. On the back side of this one, I'm gonna take some double sided adhesive, and this is some foam squares. And I'm firmly pressing that down on top of the penny. And then I'm gonna layer that with our little fairy. As you can see, I also stamped out a little wand so she can have that in her hand. This one is with a green heart at the top. I'm not pleased with how she looks when I'm spinning her, so I'm gonna take her off and try again. And this time I will adhere her with the largest part on her body, which is the wings and that head. And now you can see she spins very well. I am going to be coating her wings and that one with some Wink of Stella. And this is the same one that I talked about in the last video. I haven't bought a new one yet, but it's coming, I'm promising you. When I'm pleased with that, I'm taking some sequins. This is a couple of silver ones, and they are from Panduro. I am going to adhere them at different parts of the card, making sure that they don't interfere with the fairy so she can spin well. When I was done with that, I thought something was missing, so I decided to take a couple of small silver strips and just adhere them on the side of this card, making sure that they sticks well, and pressing them down, and I think this gives the card a little finishing touch. As you can see, two of my sequins fall off when I did this, so I'm just adhering them again, making sure they really dry before I'm shaking this card around. If you like this card, you can always make one yourself. It was very easy to do and very fun. If you like this, don't forget to give this card a thumb up. If you want to see more of my work, you can always subscribe to my channel here at YouTube or visit me at Instagram. My name is scrapbooking_Svea. Until next time, have a great day. Bye!